Today I want to talk about how to speak with confidence when the stakes are high. So let's set the scene. You're about to walk into a big meeting. Maybe it's the presentation that could land you the promotion, or the pitch to investors who could bring your dream project to life. Your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty, and your inner monologue sounds like a broken record of doubt. What if I forget my words? What if they ask me something I can't remember? What if they ask me something that I can't answer? What if I totally flop? Sound familiar? You're not alone. According to a study by Chapman University, over 40% of Americans rank public speaking as one of the biggest fears that they have. Right up there with heights and with spiders. I'm there with heights. I'm not good with heights. But here's the good news. Confidence isn't this mystical trait that only a few lucky are born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, it can be practiced, and it can be mastered. I wasn't born with it. I remember when I was growing up, I had a tough time speaking up and sharing ideas because I just didn't have the confidence in myself. I grew up in a poor family. I was very insecure. Who the hell was I to share something meaningful? I didn't like or feel like my ideas were any good. And I always followed everyone else's ideas and their dreams and the direction they were going, thinking they were smarter than me. They knew more than me, which totally wasn't true. But it was something I couldn't see at the time. So when I went to college, it continued, and I studied hard, and I stayed in my lane to make it. But I always felt this sense of being awkward. I was working full-time at a job at a local hospital and going to school full-time, and I didn't have time to be insecure. Getting a college degree was my mission at the time, so I had to make it happen. And my job working as an admission clerk in a local hospital emergency room, it forced me to have to speak to people, a lot of people, who I didn't know, and to deal with people who are often very emotional at times. So for how much my heart was racing when I first started in my journey, especially my professional journey, I knew I needed to step up my game. And I needed to step into being able to confidently speak well. I had no other choice. Failure was not an option. I was not going to end up broken like my parents were, afraid to pursue something more, or killing my opportunities in school and in my work as well. My work was what was paying for it, so I had a lot to lose, or I felt that I did. So I stepped up and I volunteered to speak at every opportunity that I could. And I put myself in front of groups even when I hated it, even when it felt uncomfortable, because I felt like I need to get over this. I was so scared always, but the stakes were high for me. I wasn't perfect, and I'm still not. Every time it's a learning opportunity. And I've fallen on my face a lot, many, many times. But the trick here is to always get back up every time you fall. Even if people laugh, even if you are humiliated. I've been humiliated so many times. I've had people laugh at me, mock me, walk up to me after I've spoken and have laughed in my face. It's a tough thing to say, right? It's emotional. But when you have a mission, when you have something you really, really want, and when you look at where you are and that you want something better, you have no other option than to step into that discomfort and to do the work and to learn. Confidence in speaking comes with failure, a lot of it, with a lot of discomfort and with a lot of anxiety. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's a skill like any other. The more you do it, the better you get, and the less anxious you become. I promise you, I have lived this. I have had anxiety about speaking in front of people for years. And I feel like I finally have come to a place where when I'm asked to speak, when I'm asked to present, if I'm in front of large groups, it doesn't bother me because I've done it so many times, because I've forced myself to do it so many times. All hope is not lost though. There is a way for you to crush it at speaking and to build your confidence fast. I'd like to save you a lot of pain, a lot of books to read, and a lot of learning that I went through, and give you a framework to get started. So if I did it, you can definitely do it. I promise you. So today I'd like to discuss 7 proven strategies to help you shine under pressure, and so you can deliver your message like a pro, even when the stakes are sky high. So let's dive in. Strategy number 1 is shifting your perspective. It's not about you. So when we're nervous, it's so easy to fall into this trap of thinking, they're all watching me. What if I mess up? But here's the secret. Your audience isn't there to critique you. They're there to hear what you have to say. Psychologist Amy Cuddy, in her famous TED Talk on power poses, she suggests reframing your mindset to focus on the value that you are offering to your audience. And so when you're out there and you're starting your presentation, change your mindset into one that I need to help these individuals learn. And being in that giving mindset, it really does change your focus. Instead of focusing on you, what they're thinking, how they're interpreting you, it's about how do I help them? And when you're helping someone, it seems really easy, right? When you're doing anything, even if you're one-on-one with someone, when you're trying to help them, it seems like it's a natural progression. So try to put yourself in that mindset. Ask yourself, what can I give? Whether it's insights, solutions, or inspiration. Making it about them takes the pressure off of you. And you can even say that. I want this to be all about you. I want to make sure that you are satisfied with the information I'm providing today. Open it up, ask questions. Don't be so rigid with your presentation. So try that strategy. Strategy number 2 is practice, but don't memorize. This is a big deal. A lot of people memorize, and it's a common mistake that people make, is just trying to memorize their speech word for word. While this might seem like a surefire way to stay on track and for progress, it can actually backfire. It can backfire big time. I've tried to memorize things. I don't do a good job at memorizing anything. I think that's why even in school, I was a smart student, but I had to create these different cues to remember things. I couldn't remember things word for word. So writing a script and reading a script, it's just not something that I can actually do really well. So if you lose your place or someone interrupts you during your presentation and they have a question that throws you off completely, you're really stuck when you're in that memorization game, because you're trying to think, where did I leave off? Where did this question come in? Instead, focus on mastering the structure of your message. Use a simple framework like this. Start with a hook. Start with a compelling story, a statistic, or a question. Then you're going to want to move to your key points. Limit yourself to 3 main key takeaways. It's a magic number for human memory. So I don't know if you notice in many presentations that you see or you hear or many videos, many of these individuals that are presenting, they do it in a sequence of 3. And try adding a call to action in the end. This is really imperative and super important because it's what you're asking from them. End with a clear and impactful conclusion. So these 3 key steps can also be used in a sales presentation because they're part of that entire framework. You have a call to action because that's the reason why you're in with this client, to sell something. But you need a hook to keep them focused. You need key points that they can take away and that they can process easily. And you want to walk out the door with an action plan, right? Strategy number 3 is harnessing your nerves. Your nerves are not the enemy. Feeling nervous? Good, you should. It means you care. It means that you're not blowing this off and that this is important to you. The trick is to channel that nervous energy into enthusiasm. According to a Harvard research study, reappraising your anxiety as excitement, it can improve your performance under pressure. Instead of telling yourself, I'm so nervous, oh my gosh, I can't even stand there. Try saying, I'm so excited to share this. If you know your topic, you're gonna crush it, believe me. And strategy 4, the power pose is real and the science backs it up. So take a tip from Wonder Woman. Before your big moment, stand tall, plant your feet firmly, and strike a pose. Research by Amy Cuddy, she shows that adopting expansive postures for even just 2 minutes, it can lower your cortisol, that pesky stress hormone, and increase testosterone, which is that confidence hormone. It's quick, it's easy, and it's easy to trick your brain into feeling more powerful by just how you stand. If you think about it, when you look at people that are anxious and depressed, they're kind of slumped over, right? And sometimes they don't make great eye contact and their posture is horrible. But you see someone shoulders back, sitting straight, eyes in contact, it automatically makes you feel more confident, doesn't it? So give the power pose a try. I highly recommend it. Strategy number 5, let's visualize success. Before you speak, take a moment to visualize yourself nailing it. This is awesome. I use this a ton. I actually sit and practice what I'm going to say, and I visualize the success. I visualize being in a big room and people clapping. I know that sounds messed up, but I totally do it. And I hear from so many interviews with so many successful people on podcasts I listen to that they do that mindset shift of visualizing themselves being successful. So close your eyes and picture the audience nodding, smiling, clapping, cheering you on. Visualization isn't just wishful thinking. It's backed by neuroscience. And studies show that mentally rehearsing success, it activates the same brain regions physically in your brain by just practicing it. So try it out. It has totally worked for me. I use this all the time. And it really helps me to feel more confident because I feel like I've been there. I've seen the success already, so I know that this presentation is going to crush it. Strategy number 6 is handle the tough questions like a pro. Nothing kills confidence like a curveball question, right? Especially when you didn't see coming, when you didn't suspect or estimate at all. Knowing your topic stone cold is key to closing as many gaps as possible. However, there are a lot of times when questions can make things complicated. So don't be afraid if you don't know the answer. The key is to staying calm and to buy yourself a moment to think. Think of phrases like, this is a great question that I want to explore a little further. Or let me take a second to reflect on that. It shows poise, it shows professionalism. I've been in so many meetings and so many presentations that I don't know all the answers. I know my topic and my product stone cold. It happens a lot. I'm a product manager in a corporate environment. But even working with customers, there's always questions that come up. Sometimes they're highly technical and they're just above my skill rate, but I stay calm. I know that I only know to a certain extent of product use or product, the way it technically works and operates, and sometimes I need more of an engineering spin on that. But I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say, I don't know the answer to that question. I need to find out, and I'd like to come back to you with the answer that's proper instead of pretending that I don't, pretending I know and saying things that are not true. So people respect that. They know that you don't always have all the answers, but being able to say that and being able to say, I will find it, and credibly coming back with the right answer, that's what they want to hear from you. So remember, it's okay to say, I don't know, but I'd be happy to follow up. Transparency, that builds trust, and that builds credibility than anything. So you can know your product, you can know what you want to say, you can know your topic, but there are times that there's questions and nuances that you need a little bit more time to react to. Strategy 7, anchor yourself in your why. When the pressure mounts, you're grinding yourself, and you're thinking of, I need to get through this. Ground yourself with your purpose. It can be a game changer. Why are you here? What is the bigger mission driving this moment? Research from Duke University shows that aligning with a sense of purpose, it not only boosts your confidence, but it also enhances your resilience. So here's a bonus tip. You're gonna wanna prep like a pro. I do this all of the time. I find this really super helpful. If you wanna go the extra mile, record yourself doing a practice run. We all have smartphones and video capture, so there's no excuses here. You don't have to, step back and say, well, I don't have a camera. Use the camera on your phone. Even if it feels uncomfortable, you don't have to show it to anybody, right? But watching yourself, it can help you just catch those distracting habits like fidgeting, filler words, and it can help you fine-tune your delivery. A 2022 survey by Toastmasters, they found that 75% of speakers, they do this, they rehearse on video, and they also say that they feel more prepared and more confident. So speaking with confidence when the stakes are high, it isn't about being perfect. No one is perfect at anything. So get that perfection mindset, that perfection thought out of your head. Just get rid of it like a bad relationship. It's about being prepared, being present, and being purposeful. So the next time you're standing in front of a crowd, remember, you've got this. Take a deep breath, own your power pose, and let your message shine. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to celebrate your win afterward. Whether it's a high five from a colleague or treating yourself to a fancy latte, acknowledging your success is that cherry on top. Now go out there and crush it. If you know anyone that can benefit from the content of this video, or you've enjoyed this content, please consider sharing, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.